Okay, this is season 6 from Tales from the Crypt, and a lot of people believe that this is where they started to run out of gas, and I halfway agree with them on this. The idea is just they ran out, and 6 is a mixed bag. It does have some good stuff, but it has garbage too.
I don't know, he just seems too eager.
It starts off with Let the Punishment Fit the Crime. This is the episode with Catherine O'Hara. She gets arrested for having an illegal license plate, so they say, and she gets taken to this corrupt, backwards, crazy kangaroo court where the judges give her the most ridiculous sentences you could think of. This is a fun episode. It's a cool episode. It's another breakaway episode. I had no problem with this being the first episode of the season. It's a cool episode. The second episode, Only Skin Deep, not to be confused with season 1's Only Sin Deep. This is Only Skin Deep. This is probably one of the most popular episodes of season 6, about the masked woman at the Halloween party that a man befriends, and she takes him back to her apartment, and then the craziness starts. A very twisted, weird episode where it does leave some questions to be answered, but it's dark, it's scary, it's weird. It's got a good sex scene. It's a good episode. It's definitely, like I said, one of the best episodes of 6 by far. That's Only Skin Deep. The next one is Whirlpool. This is like the shortest episode of Tales from the Crypt. More about a woman who she keeps reliving the same day over. It's kind of like a Groundhog Day scenario. She's an artist, and it's a little bit difficult to explain. But actually, this one is kind of fun. It's just really short and with a stupid ending. I have nothing too bad to say about this one. The next one, Operation Friendship. This shouldn't even be a Tales from the Crypt episode. This is just this is a standout as not belonging to a lot of the other ones, about the guy and his imaginary friend who's jealous of a girl that he meets, and he tries to get him to kill her, and a bunch of shit happens, but it's not a very good episode, and it's definitely one that feels like it doesn't belong. The next one is Revenge of the Nuts, and even this one, okay, yeah, this one you could say this is a Tales from the Crypt episode. It's not one of my favorite episodes, though. It's about all these blind people at the local home who are being mistreated by the guy who's in charge, and then they plot all this revenge on them. He basically, he punishes them in all different ways, and then they come up with this plan to get him back. Maybe original, but not one of the better episodes. Isaac Hayes is in it. Maybe it just isn't executed really that well. The next is The Bribe. The Bribe is actually a cool episode. I wish that the very, very ending was a little bit different, but what happens, what transpires with the father is that it's actually a good episode. I like this episode. It's one of the better episodes of season 6. The Bribe. The next one, another one. This is probably the worst episode of Tales from the Crypt. It has no business being a Tales from the Crypt episode. It's The Pit. and this is basically about two martial arts fighters and their wives. I do not know why they threw this in there. This is straight garbage. And season 6 is the second biggest season of Tales from the Crypt. It has 15 episodes. Most of the other ones have 13 and 14, and they really should have just left this episode out, because it does nothing for the series. The next one is The Assassin. Corey Feldman's in this episode. This episode's actually pretty cool. I didn't like it the very first time I seen it, but it grew on me, and it's got some cool scenes. It's another difficult one to explain, but it's definitely cool. Another one of the better ones of season 6. The next one is Stared in Horror. Stared in Horror is one of the most original premises in Tales from the Crypt. Basically about a criminal on the run. He's being chased by the police. He comes across this house with this old woman in it and discovers that when she goes upstairs, she becomes the young woman she used to be. When she comes downstairs, she turns old. And it's vice versa for him. He's young downstairs, and when he climbs the stairs to try to get to her young version, he becomes old. So downstairs, she's too old for him. Upstairs, he's too old for her. They finally and this is a curse that her father put on her before he died because of a situation that he was in that I'm not going to explain. But they finally figure out that they can meet in the middle of the stairs and get at each other. It's a cool episode with a cool ending. And another one of the betters of season 6. I like it a lot. The next one is the third episode with Miguel Ferrer in it. Rest in peace, he died of throat cancer. This one's called In the Groove, and he is a radio host who has basically an evil sister, and another kind of difficult one to explain. It's definitely an entertaining episode, though I don't really like the ending much. Not one of the best ones, but it's passable. Next is Surprise Party. I love Surprise Party. Surprise Party is so cool. Jake Busey's in this one. Basically about a guy who inherits this old house from his dead father, and when he gets there to check it out, this is at night, there's this party going on in it, and he's like, what the hell? And he's trying to get these people off his property, out of his house, and they turn out to be not what he thinks they are. So this is a cool episode with a cool ending. I really like this one. Definitely another better one of season 6. The next one is Doctor of Horror. Ben Stein's in this one, and the guy who does the voice for The Simpsons. What the hell is his name? Oh, Travis Tritt is in this one too. Basically about two security guards who steal dead bodies so this crazy doctor can try to steal their souls. This is totally a horror episode, and it's a really cool episode. I like this one a lot for a later episode. Definitely not one to miss. The next one is Comes the Dawn. Not to be confused with season 5's Came the Dawn. This is Comes the Dawn with Michael Ironside in it again. He was in The Sacrifice in season 2. And this one basically is about vampires in Alaska, but this is one that, even though I'm not a fan of vampires, I really like this one. I like the way it unfolds, and they're not really traditional vampires. They not only do they look cooler, but they're different. Another cool episode. The next one with a very interesting title, probably most interesting title in Tales from the Crypt, 99 and 44 out of 100% pure horror. What a name. Where did they get this from? This episode is awesome. This is the one about the chick who kills her husband, who owns this soap company, and she takes his body to the soap company and basically throws him in the pool that mixes the ingredients for the soap and turns him into soap, and basically tries to, at the end, wash herself with him, but she didn't take one thing into account, and she pays dearly for it. This is a really cool episode with some great gore in it. Really like this episode. Definitely one of the best of Season 6. And the last one is called You Murderer. This is to close Season 6. And this one has actually Alfred Hitchcock and Humphrey Bogart in it. It's a really cool episode. Obviously, they're CGI'd in. They're both dead when this was made, but it's a cool episode. It's like it's from a first-person point of view. I don't really like the ending. It's definitely different from any other Tales from the Crypt episode. It's really entertaining. I can see why they probably put this last to close out Season 6. And yeah, it's another cool one. So that is Season 6, which is a mixed bag from Tales from the Crypt.